Hello, kindred spirits. Here's another, well, maybe not so much fun side of being that created soul and a creator, but certainly a helpful aspect of our inherent creativity. Early in my video series, I did a whole sequence about soul senses. So if you need to refresh, go back and have a look. But those soul senses, in addition to being your channels of creativity and the way you get new ideas and inspiration, are very, very helpful, in fact, critical to being able to get insight into yourself and into other people. Now, once again, in our limited world where we're just physical and mental beings, those soul senses, also known as intuition or psychic senses, have been debased and trivialized for fortune telling and all that kind of nonsense. That's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about insight, I am talking about tapping into your own motivations and others' motivations so that you can respond appropriately and helpfully to yourself and to others. And let me give you a beautiful example of what I'm talking about. My late wife, Jana Simons, was first in soul awareness, that just knowing, and second in soul feeling, which literally comes in as a feeling. Those are the two fastest soul senses, and they are absolutely perfect for someone who did what she did, which was to be a counselor and teacher. Anyway, Jana had come with me back to my parents' house to gather to celebrate the life of my paternal grandmother, who died just short of her 94th birthday. My dad was very close to his mother, and her death devastated him, and I knew that. But we were all kind of gathered around in the living room, and suddenly he just started picking on my brother. Now, my brother and my dad have always had problems because my brother is very intuitive and, you know, basically the same soul sense order as Jana. And he's extremely sensitive and, more into his creative side, right brain, than he is in a left brain. Whereas my dad, a mathematician, was the uber left brainer. So they kind of were at loggerheads because they didn't know how to communicate around their different orientations there. So when Janice saw my dad starting to pick on my brother, she tuned in and instantly knew what to do. So she took him aside and talked to him, and he calmed down and he relaxed. And you could just tell that whatever she said really had a very positive, beneficial effect, not only on my dad, but on my brother, because my father was no longer picking on him. So I talked to her about it later, and she didn't give me the specifics of what she said, but she did tell me that all my dad really needed was for someone to acknowledge the pain of his loss and to help him validate what he was feeling, and that it was okay to feel as devastated as he was feeling. And that's what apparently she did. So it helped heal something. It helped create a calmer, more loving environment to do the celebration and to be more at peace with the passing of our loved one. And that is a marvelous gift of insight that your soul senses offer to you, and your soul senses come from your spiritual body. You know, that part of you that everybody sets aside and says, oh, that's confined to 2 hours once a week. No, it's who you are. It's part of who you are. It's inherently you because you are a creative soul. So please start paying attention. Please start honoring your intuition, because when you honor your intuition, you honor your personal truth, and you become more at peace with yourself, and you live that holistic life that people are always talking about. and thinking it's about something that they do or they don't do. No, actually, that holistic starts with living out of all of your being, not just your mental being or your physical being, but your spiritual being and your emotional being. Because when you tap in with your soul senses, what really gives it the push is the love from your emotional body. That turbocharges you getting and receiving and perceiving the information that you're getting through your soul senses. So that is a very helpful thing and a healing thing that your soul senses can do. And it's one of the joys of being the created soul that you are. Until next time, vaya con Dios.